Welcome back to our Greece travels. After a quick day in Athens and then spending a few days in Santorini, we were off to our final destination, which is the island of Crete. We took the latest Sea Jets ferry of the day from Santorini to Rethymno, Crete. We had a really smooth ride and even had live music for most of the way. From Rethymno, we drove to Chania, Crete, where we had rented a small studio apartment to spend the rest of the week. The next morning, we decided to go to Elafonissi Beach. This is definitely a long drive from Chania, but the views along the way were absolutely breathtaking. Elafonissi Beach is known for its pink sand and crystal clear water, and it didn't disappoint. We walked down the beach a little ways to avoid the crowds, which we would definitely recommend as there were quite a few people on this beach. After a short hike, we found a nice quiet spot out of the wind since it was really windy and spent the rest of the day here soaking up the island sunshine. We started day 2 off with donuts and coffee from a little cafe near our apartment. This was a stop we made pretty much every morning for breakfast. Then it was off to Balos Beach. When we got there, we had to park a good ways away from the trailhead since there were already so many people here. The views on the way down to the beach were absolutely stunning and the trail was really fun. We found some friendly goats and we had a great view of Balos Beach from on top of the cliff. The steps down to the beach were rocky and at times quite steep, but the hike itself was not overly difficult and we would definitely recommend it. I will say it was very hot and the swim in the Mediterranean Sea at the end felt very nice. I was also thankful that we had brought snacks and, more importantly, our water bottles. We were surprised at how many people were down on the beach due to how long and hot the hike was, but most of the people had gathered around ferry drop-off and pickup areas, so it was not difficult to find a quiet, empty spot for us to sit. This turned out to be an awesome day. We were sad to leave such a beautiful beach, but eventually started the hike back up. By then it was over 85 degrees and sunny, which made for a very hot, dusty trek to the car. We wrapped up the night with some well-earned pizza and gelato back in Chania, which definitely hit the spot after a full day out. Day 3 took us to Seitan Limania, a small cove known for its white cliffs and clear blue water. We got there around 9:30 a.m. and had the place almost to ourselves, but by the time we left around 11:30 a.m., it was completely packed. We would recommend going early if you want some quiet time and a good spot on the beach. This was a beautiful place to swim and we had a lot of fun jumping off the cliffs around the water. Also note that the goats here are not shy. They were stealing personal belongings and even tried to snatch a banana right out of someone's hand. As we were packing up, a storm started rolling in, but we still headed to Stavros Beach. Even with the clouds, it was still very warm, and we ended up having the entire beach to ourselves, which was quite the treat. On our fourth day, we drove through the Corteliotti Gorge on our way to spend the day at Preveli Beach. This was one of our favorite drives on the island, and we stopped several times at the lookout points to take in the views. Once we arrived, we hiked down to the beach. And out of all the beaches we visited on Crete so far, this was definitely one of the easier hikes. It wasn't too steep or long, which was a nice change. Preveli is a black sand beach, which made it feel really unique compared to the others we'd seen so far. One of the most interesting parts of this spot is the river that flows right into the sea. It's usually super clear, but because of the storm the night before, the water was muddy when we visited. Even so, we had a lot of fun swimming in it. It was cold and really refreshing. The area around the river was incredibly lush and green, and we had a great time hiking around the water and up along the cliffs overlooking the sea. We ended up spending the entire day here and had an absolute blast. Honestly, we haven't found a beach on this island that we didn't love. Later that evening, we made our way back to our apartment and ordered pizza to enjoy on our balcony. Domino's in Crete, delivered right to your door. Yes, there is a Domino's pizza in Greece, and it totally hit the spot. After dinner, we walked to Old Chania to catch the sunset from the pier, which is probably one of the best sunsets we've ever seen in our lives. I can't recommend staying in Chania enough. It's a beautiful town right on the water with tons of restaurants and shops all within walking distance. Our last night in Crete ended up being our favorite one. We started our final day in Crete with one last stop at the little bakery down the street for pastries and coffee, our go-to breakfast spot all week. We'll definitely miss our cozy apartment in Chania. We stayed at nice apartments and would absolutely recommend it. It was in a great location, was super walkable, and right on the water. It had everything we needed for our 5 days in Crete. original plans to visit Elafonissi Beach got rained out, so we just started driving until we found sunshine, and ended up at Elafonissi Beach. This was kind of a hidden gem. There were beach chairs, a small beach bar with cheap drinks, and hardly any people there. It was the perfect laid-back way to wrap up our trip. Crete was easily our favorite stop on the whole trip to Greece. We had so many great beach days, plenty of hiking, and some really good food along the way. From the beach, we headed to Heraklion Airport for a late-night flight to Athens. We pulled an all-nighter in the airport lounge and grabbed breakfast there. Eventually, we flew back to Paris and then home to Chicago. A long travel day, but totally worth it. Though it always feels good to be home, we were sad to see our Greece trip come to an end. Greece is such a beautiful country, and we'd love to go back someday.